What's up, everyone? How y'all doing? My name is Reef, and this is your Daily Chat Season 5, Episode 38 for August the 25th, 2020. How's everybody doing? What is going on? We have some new developments. Epic is back on the Apple App Store as per a judge's agreement. Well, not necessarily, actually. Fortnite is not back, but the Unreal Engine is actually back. They have been saved by a judge who declared that Apple was not allowed to hurt other developers by proxy of removing the Unreal Engine. That was not fair, and even though the banning of Fortnite has not yet caused irreparable harm to Epic, doing so with the Epic engine would actually do that. So the judge has blocked Apple's ability to actually moderate their own store, which I'm a little bit torn on. I don't know how I feel about that. While in one way I'm very, very happy that developers were not going to get shafted over because of another company's fight. At the same time, though, it's very disturbing when the court can jump in and tell you what you can and cannot do with your own property. That's never been something that sat well with me, and it still doesn't sit well with me. So we're going to sit here and watch and see how this plays out more, but what we do know, as of August 28th, the Unreal Engine will continue to be present and in games on the Apple App Store. So you don't have to worry about that if you're a developer or a user who consumes stuff using the Unreal Engine. Now, we know that taxes have been a whole thing for big companies for a long time. They've been hiding their funds in Russia, or not in Russia, in Ireland, in the Cayman Islands. They've been using tax dodges. They've been sending their money on what are basically world tours of tax havens. And Facebook now has agreed to pay France 106 million euros in back taxes, with the addition of paying 50% more taxes this year. And this is obviously coming because, well, Facebook has not been paying taxes. They've been shuffling their money off to little haven areas. And as a result, none of these countries are seeing these companies pay any taxes. Not even America is seeing these companies pay taxes. We know this is a well-established practice with companies like Google and Amazon and even Blizzard Activision, who actually don't pay taxes, but in return get giant government refunds and handouts. Now, what they did here was France said that because they have their offices there, and even though they're a U.S. company, because the sales are done for advertisers in the France office, they are subject to France taxes. This has caused a massive strife between politicians in the US and politicians in, obviously, France, saying that you are targeting American companies. And as a result of this whole targeting for both Amazon, Google, Facebook, and there's one other one, but because they target these big corporations, they have decided to say that we are going to tax imports coming from France to the tune of $1.3 billion. And this 25% increase in tax is it's getting a little bit out of hand. Now, mind you, I don't know many people who buy things that come out of France. In fact, to be totally honest, I can't think of one major thing that comes out of France outside of champagne. But what do I know? I'm just a dude who wears Walmart clothes and uses technology made in Japan. But yeah, so there you guys have it. Oh, by the way, it's Google, Apple, Facebook, and Amazon. Those are the four companies who have kind of collectively drawn the ire of the politicians in France for basically dodging taxes. It's one of these things that's only going to escalate going further. Don't be surprised at all if we see some form of retaliation from the companies themselves in these areas. I don't know if it would ever be beneficial for Facebook to pull out of France or anything like that. I don't think it would be. But don't be surprised if, maybe for Apple, maybe France gets the iPhone 12 maybe 5 months late, maybe 5 weeks later than the US release. Maybe they don't get stuff on time with the rest of the world. Maybe they just get dialed back a little bit into the back of the Stone Age there. You never know with these companies. These companies have many, many ways to hurt entire nations and entire populaces of people. And sometimes that's just withholding the ability to get stuff on time. Amazon could really kind of just screw with their shipping times a little bit, making sure that stuff goes out a little bit later out to France, making sure the They obviously won't hurt the warehouse in terms of not stocking the warehouse, but maybe stuff gets marked up a little bit. Maybe processing time is a little bit harder. You never know. You never know with these kind of things. And it's for that reason that these type of stories are always very interesting to watch, because it's politics on one side, but it's business on the other. And both parties are capable of doing a lot of damage to what is essentially the end user. The consumer is the one who's going to pay the price in the end. And these politicians don't understand that, and these companies do understand that. But there you guys go. Facebook's paying 106 million euros and 50% more taxes this year. And our final story tonight, Starlink, back in the news. If you don't remember what Starlink is, that is Elon Musk's global satellite internet service provider. He is planning to launch 30,000 satellites into the low Earth orbit area, where he will beam down internet wirelessly to like rural areas. He's planning to do gigabit, which is really cool. But speaking of drawing ire from the last story, astronomers are not happy about this. Clearly, astronomers are just the tree huggers of space. But they're not happy about this because it's going to interfere with their ability to watch the skies. It's going to interfere with the data coming in from space. And that stuff is important. I'm not saying it's not. Space exploration is very, very important for us as a species to continue on. But at that same time, though, we have a major problem here on Earth where big swaths of the population don't have access to the internet, which is absolutely 100% an essential necessity nowadays. You can't not have the internet. That's just not an option. And Elon is trying to do a very monumental, very big, important thing for humanity as a whole. But launching 30,000 satellites is a big number too. Yes, that is going to cause a lot of extra debris. It's speculated that that might even just double up, just flat out double up the number of satellites in orbit as it currently stands. And if they are highly reflective, that will interfere with data. So people have suggested maybe darkening them out, maybe blacking them out. I don't really know the ins and outs of astronomy in terms of the research side of things from like large array telescopes, but I would assume that blacking them out would be a good start. But they said that there's multiple options like darkening them out, spacing them, or maybe just don't even launch them. Don't even launch them. This is the part of the article that really tilted me sideways, because it's such an ignorant statement to say don't launch them. That is basically telling hundreds of millions of people around the world, hey, we understand that you live in a absolute crap hole condition, whether you're in America or some other nation like Africa. We understand your area is a crap hole. We understand that this guy was planning and trying and working towards making it better for you. But because we like to watch the stars, you can go die in a fire. Your needs don't matter as much as our needs. That's what that told me. And that was just such a tilting statement. I hated seeing it. Don't launch them is not an option. We are way past the threshold point at this juncture already, where we have already seen speed tests coming out. We've already seen improvements on those speed tests coming out. We are well on the way. This train has left the station, Billy. We are launching these satellites. These satellites are going up. Now, the only other option that we have now is how can we minimize the impact this will have on other people? And I'm all for blacking them out. I'm all for darkening maybe the front-facing side, or the part that faces the Earth, darkening that out so the back can get the solar energy. Once again, I'm not an astronomer. I'm not an astrophysicist. I'm just a dude in front of a camera looking at the tech story. But that's just what I see, and I could not believe that astronomers, even though they are the tree huggers of the skies, I could not believe that they would even pitch such a stupid idea of don't even launch the satellites. That's just, it's awful on a consumer standpoint. It's awful on a liberal, hippie, tree hugger standpoint. It's just an awful thought process all the way around. And guys, there you have it. Those are your 3 stories for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Daily Chat. If you did, please do like, comment, share, especially subscribe. Definitely trying to build that sub count. We're putting out close to 2 videos a day right now. So I really appreciate all the support, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've been Arif. This has been Daily Chat. I'll see all of you on the next video.